So then, I mean, we're doing episode 2, and I'm very, very excited because we've got my good friend of mine, Jake Topliss, of course, now turned into a YouTuber. He's been a great blogger for the last few years as well. Known him for, we've been travelling up and down the country for the last 4 years and doing a lot of football league and non-league. So it's great to have him. I've been on his podcast before. He's now coming on mine, so it's going to be great. If you're new around here, of course, like, subscribe to the channel. The route to 5k is on, and there's plenty of episodes coming in the tank, that is for certain. So without further ado, take it away, Jake. You're in the hot seat.
There we go. Yeah, we're recording. I mean, do you know what? I was thinking about this when I was piecing this podcast together. The things that we've done over the last 4 years, the travelling that we've done, is absolutely ludicrous. So, like, and we'll get into how I met you and all that, but like some of the grounds we've done, especially when you've come up, you've been a guest on my channel, it's just been incredible, mate, hasn't it?
Yeah. Here, there, and everywhere, really. I was just like, can't go even further. I can remember speaking to Chris Beresai and a few others. I think there was Stuart Long, there was Neil Woolley, and what's his name? That dodgy spy, right? Ryan Watson. Hi, Ryan, if you're watching, mate. Don't take it to heart. Come on, you others. We were at South Leeds. We were at South Leeds, and we were saying, here's one for you. What's one ground that everyone assumes that you've done that you haven't? Now, I've not got a specific ground. My answer was I've not been a ground in Scotland yet. I haven't been across that border yet. So yeah, there is that. I mean, from Chris Beresai, has not done Leeds United. Would you believe? Wow. There was one there. I can't remember the others. But yeah, there's some interesting topics of conversation.
Yeah, I mean, do you ever like sit back, like the grounds that you've done? Do you ever look back and like you look at your memories and think, I can't believe I've been there? Do I remember actually going there? Like, do you get like a random memory just pop up and think,
well,
I was there?
Pin badge board's right behind me monitor, mate. So I'm looking at them all right now as we speak and thinking, yeah, Cow Sports, yeah, Kings Lynn Town, Huntingdon Town, yeah, those where they are. Ripon City, Cadbury Athletic. It's a nice chocolate there.
Yes.
Brook Town, yeah, just over there. Yeah. Railway Athletic, Boston United's old ground, yeah. Bexhill United. Any further south and you're on the way to France swimming. Yeah.
It's weird though.
Athletic, yeah, there's just some random ones there. Treaty United, I wonder where they are.
Yeah, Treaty. Yeah, there's someone I want. There's a ground, a club I'd like to at some point. But I mean, it's great to have you on, mate. I mean,
thank you.
I mean, I always, go back to the start, I guess. So, like, growing up, I mean, of course, from the mean streets of Shirebrook, but like, when did you start following football? Then, when was can you remember your first memory of football?
My first memory of football was a very happy one for all of us in England. It was David Beckham's penalty against Argentina in 2002 World Cup. That was my very earliest, and from then on, I've just been football mad ever since. I said to people that I've gone to school with, here he goes again. Jake, will you shut up talking about football for once, will you? Yeah, it's been that sort of thing, really. The World Cup, we beat Argentina. I can remember getting to school like really early, and we all watched the England games before we went into lessons, really, and quite a very sad day when we lost to Brazil that morning. But it all went from there, really. My favourite player at the time was Michael Owen. And at the time, he played for Liverpool. And that was me. That was the way it went for me. Liverpool fan as a kid. My dad being Man United, funnily enough. And then, I started following Liverpool and England and ever since, really. And then, obviously, Michael Owen being my favourite, quickly turned towards Steven Gerrard. Michael Owen, to this day, that's still my saddest Liverpool departure. Despite, we've had the likes of Fernando Torres and Luis Suarez in modern years go. And then, I finished uni. In 2016. And all my sort of friends I had at uni sort of moved away. Some I don't speak to anymore. So I remember sitting there in my house one night in Sheffield, just mindlessly scrolling through my laptop as you do on the internet, and all of a sudden I could see a couple of red and white shirts walk past. I looked at my watch; it's about 6:45, and the floodlights are on at Bramall Lane. So I thought, sod it, let's go have a look. I went to the ticket office and said, "You got any for tonight, mate?" He says, "Yeah." So Sheffield United versus Southend, just on a whim. And took along. Chris Wilder's just become manager at this point.
Yeah.
And they were 3-0 down after 15 minutes to Southend United. How times change.
Yeah.
Some terrible goals in there as well. George Long made an absolute howler for the second. Chris Hussey played at left back for Sheffield United. That's how long ago. I think that was his last game.
Yeah.
Been playing after that. So I watched Sheffield United for a bit that year, just to get out of the house because all friends have moved on, and then a little bit lonely at the time. And then later on, I found out that my brother's got a season ticket at Mansfield Town, would you believe? Which is where we're actually from. And I said to him, next season, Chesterfield at home, I'm coming to that game with you. Went to that game. 2-2, great game, really enjoyed it. And then I started my level 1 coaching badge in football. So while I was home, I watched Stags because they were at home. And it just meant that a little bit more to me than Sheffield United. No disrespect to the Blades. They are my Sheffield team, despite me sat in the Hillsborough Cup at the weekend. We'll get onto that shortly. I don't hate Sheffield Wednesday, but I do prefer Sheffield United, just out of the two. I've got that little bit more affinity with them. But watching Mansfield felt more like this is my actual hometown. It means a bit more to me. So I started following them. I never really classed myself as a fan when I was at school, even though I always wished them the best. But, lately I do say I'm a Mansfield Town fan. They are my number one. If Mansfield drew Liverpool away in the FA Cup, I would go in the away end, but I wouldn't go in the away end at Mansfield with Liverpool fans because that's treason in my eyes.
I was going to say, were you there? I remember when Mansfield played Liverpool in FA Cup 2013 when Suarez handballed it. Did you actually go to that game or did you watch that on telly?
Well, out of my friends at the time, I was the only one that had ESPN. So I didn't get a ticket. I watched it at home, and being a Liverpool fan at the time, religiously I was, even though I still had a soft spot for Mansfield. All my friends at the time, being Man United fans, they had to get relentlessly taunted at school, saying you had to handball it to beat Mansfield. So yeah, not. But again, that was the catalyst for Mansfield getting back into the Football League, because after that, Mansfield were the form team in the country. Went all the way, 12 games winning streak, all the way to the top from 9th place. So then I can remember being out and about with a few friends on the Friday night. The Mansfield had Braintree the day after. And we were all going, Mansfield's going up. Because a lot of people jump on the bandwagon when Mansfield are doing well. And you see that with every club, but, I was there as well. And they lost, funnily enough. And I can remember that year we had Kidderminster Harriers were right on our backs. Like, if we won, they won. And they won that night. So Mansfield had Hereford, a game in hand, the penultimate game. And we were a point behind Kiddie. They had one game left. They had Stockport, who were about to be relegated. Stockport County, about to be relegated from the National League. Our times change again, by the way.
Yeah.
That was when they were in trouble financially. So we had to beat Hereford. A draw wasn't enough because their goal difference were better and they were going to win, put it that way. So we had to win. And in typical Mansfield fashion, they go 1-0 down after 6 minutes. But they did equalise on 20 minutes. Matt Green, who is God around these parts. As he may well know. And then literally relentless. I didn't go to this game. I wish I had, to be fair. I think a lot of fans will remember that one. There's for all the right reasons who did go. Literally all over him, just can't score. Missing sitters, keepers making some great saves, and we're thinking, here we go. It's not going to happen, is it? But then the 90th minute, a flick on, and Matt Green's held off his man, ran into the box, smashed it and scored on the 90th minute. Dead on. I remember Steve-O, our media man, going nuts on commentary. And we won 2-1, and that was it. We beat Wrexham on the last day. Here, Wrexham, National League. Times change.
Yeah.
Matt Green again, and then Mansfield are back in the Football League, and have been there ever since.
It's a great story.
Yeah, so it's a cracker. And I think a guy called Alan Paynton did a little mini documentary on it all. And he said he'd been going there for over 50 years. That night in Hereford was the best ever in 50 years.
I remember you were telling me about that. I think the story about that, which I've seen. It looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's great to see because we've had being a Donny fan. I do like the battles of Mansfield. I do, and because we've been in and around each other for a very long time. We even the last sort of decade or so. We've sort of been in and around. But I always remember a video I'd seen of you at Brook Town back in the day. I mean, your hair was a lot different then. But how did that love of Brook Town come about then?
Yeah, so I didn't really touch on really, to be fair, but in 2002, around the same time as I started the love for football through the World Cup and through Liverpool at the time, my granddad said to me, "You want to come watch Sherbrooke, Jake?" Yeah, and I said, "Yeah, for a laugh, why not?" I can't remember who they played, but I remember the names of the players. One guy who sadly no longer with us, probably to this day still is Brook Town's best ever player, perhaps. I might be wrong in saying that. Guy called Simon Johnson, number 9. Solid striker. There's a story that a committee man told me. I'll touch on it shortly, but yeah, we had Simon Johnson up front who a bit hot-headed as well. Would get a red card, mainly through violent conduct as well. And then his strike part, number 10, called Robbie Orton, long-serving player. I can remember a midfielder. I think he played defence sometimes. A big, bold, solid lad. Again, get red cards a lot. Cool. Tanner, his name. He's sadly no longer with us as well. But his son played in the same team as a kid as my younger brother Jack. A right back called Elgie. I remember there was a goalie called Mark Hales. I remember him really well. He played for us for a long time. But in a nutshell, all these guys I'm naming, all from Sherbrooke at the time. And there's a real big sort of community bus. You'd see people around town, when I go for walks with my mum and all that around town. You see them, you went to Sherbrooke Town, mummy, you did. You see a lot of familiar faces. Real good community spirit about the place. Obviously, that's all changed now, as we know, with the non-league. But I'd see a few friends up there as well, some from school, some that were just from the local area. So it's a good sort of social hub thing at that time as well. And yeah, just followed on from it. Then I started to lose interest a little bit when I went into secondary school a little bit. But then I can remember one night, and this is how I got back into it. I was doing a driving lesson, and I can remember the guy who does media for Sherbrooke Town now is someone I went to primary and secondary school with. Glover, we call him. You've probably seen him at Sherbrooke before. He does the media for him.
I've seen him around, yeah.
Telling me over Xbox, like, we've got semi-final tonight, Jake. It's Winterton Rangers coming up. And I was a bit hesitant about it. But like, yeah. So I had a driving lesson. And as I pulled up back to my house, two of the other lads, Stokesy, who's now part of the board, I think he may be chairman, and his mate Charlie, who I'd seen a few weeks back, because I can remember we had a few friends round to watch Man U Liverpool, and we went to watch Sherbrooke game afterwards. So I met him there. I know Stokesy for a long time. And they just said to me, "Semi-final, get your head up to the ground tonight, get your head up." I thought, sorry, go on then, I will do. So Sherbrooke Town versus Winterton Rangers in the Northern Counties League Cup semi-final. Wow. Winterton are in the Prem at the time. We're in Division 1. We're sort of mid-table. They're pushing for Northern Prem, or Unibond, I think they called it back then.
Yeah, it would have been bad, yeah.
So we met up, got the flag and drum. Half-time, we're 2-0 down and getting absolutely battered. I think it's going to be 4-0, dead and buried. And then we had a little spell in the second half. Big tall striker, Guesty, his name. And he's run in, he's through on goal, not onside, and he's hit it, keeper's dive. He's got rolling on, thinking, please, he's gone in, he's hit the back of the net finally after what seemed like 10 seconds. We always did the Poznan when we scored. Let's all do the Poznan. Let's all do the Poznan. And then 2 minutes later, my dad ringing me up saying, "You're all right, everything, yeah, all good, yeah, oh. As it boxes hit it, it's going in off the bar. We put phone straight down. 2-2, just like that in a nutshell. It was that, we were all that relieved. We didn't even do the Poznan. Because it was like, oh my God, we've just equalised. And then we're under the cosh again. We're under it. We get in at 2-2. Thinking, how have we managed that? And so we're all proper on edge now. We, at some point, we dare even sing sometimes. They're all over us. They're all literally killing us. They've hit the bar. It's like, oh God, what's going on? And then we have a little spell right at the end. And we get to penalty shootout. So I remember Mickey T, we call him. Mickey Taylor is now. I don't know if he manages anymore. I know he was Rudy Funk's assistant at one point later on. It was like, behind the goal, lads, behind the goal. So we go behind goal. We scored, they missed. Thinking, we skied it. We never know, we've got a chance here. The finals at Parkgate, we've got a chance. We scored, they scored. I can't remember when I have that. We scored, they scored again. I think it was 3-2. Then we missed. Oh, no. Then they missed. So we've got a chance to win it. A guy called Stephen McGurk, his name, centre half, steps up. He scored. They've all run at us. We've run on the pitch. Oh, man, absolutely unreal. One of the best nights ever. And that was it. I was like, I'm coming every week now. That was class. Yeah. And I did for up until I moved to Sheffield for uni, where I've just left after 11 years. Sheffield, the city. That is, not been at uni for 11 years, but yeah. And yeah, that was how I got back into it. And then obviously, become a groundhopper since then, and we're back at it again, really. So
it's a great story, mate. I mean, I always think to myself, like, because I was always, and I mean, our story's a lot different, but like, I was always football. I was always football league with Donny. There was nothing. My dad always used to take me to Donny because there was nothing I knew, especially with the non-league scene around Donny that we know now, or certainly I know now. But I always remember being at uni and Cal, who's good mate, very good mate of mine. We started following Gateshead, and I remember my first game I'd went to a non-league was against Mansfield Town. Whatever happened to them? Whatever happened to them?
And not far off them now, anyway. That's one thing.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, there was 1-1. There was 29 Gateshead fans that turned up on a Tuesday night at Macclesfield. It was brilliant, and instantly I was hooked. And like I say, I'm like you now, groundhopper. It's just brilliant. I mean, do you sense that like Shirebrook has kind of lost that community spirit with the club now these days?
It's not the same. I mean, obviously, there'll be certain people that are no longer with us, sadly, because, time does move on, Some people still go. Some people are a little bit old, don't like to travel as much. Like, you won't see as many of the committee go on away trips as you will anymore. I think the problem with Shirebrook's got at the moment is that the next generation aren't coming through. I think we're still seeing the same people on the committee, which is great because they know the club inside out and have been there. But we could do with a bit more of the youth coming in now. Like, I've seen little groups of lads watching the football, which is great. So I think they'll be all right, but I think we still need a little bit more. Could the club do a little bit more in the community? Because I can remember when I got back into it, just the season before I moved to Sheffield, I remember we had Mark Shaw. I don't know if that name rings a bell as manager.
Yeah,
and he had a lot of contacts. I mean, the reason why we didn't go up was probably because all of his contacts were youngsters. You don't win up with kids, do you? That was how we just fell a bit short. But he did say he had a lot of plans, and he'd said in his sort of statements and interviews that he wanted to raise the attendance of the club more, and it did for a short period of time. It really did. Sadly, Mark Shaw left to go to Worksop just before the end of the season because that job came available, which at the time we were fuming, but we forgave him in the end. But yeah, I think it's one of them when the club's doing well, there'll be people there because I think there was quite a few people there for the Parkgate game last season. I mean, there could have been a lot more riding on it, which would have definitely brought a bigger crowd in. But I think if Shirebrook would have done all right this season, if Rudy Funk had probably been the Rudy Funk of old, they might have kicked on. I know there's not a lot of money at the club anymore, and me and you know why that is, because the club sadly didn't have the same ambition as good old Ryan from Claycross. If you're watching, mate, hope you're doing all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it needs a bit of ambition. But I do go up there, I do see the same face, and I love that. But the same faces will not be here forever. Yeah. So it does need some new. There's a young lad up there called Jack, I think his name, who gets on really well for the club. They need more Jacks coming in as well. Gives a bit of a fresh look as well. I don't know how non-league clubs can connect with the community because it's a lot different when you're in an area where there's Forest fans, there's Mansfield fans like me, there's potentially Blades and Owls here still. There might be Derby County fans. There might be Notts County fans. I don't know why they want to support them, but there might even be Spyrites. I mean, it won't go any further lower than that. But there'll be clubs that are competing for their attention. And if the club's doing bad, which unfortunately it has been this season, they're not going to want to watch it, are they? So, you know, I don't know how the club would do if they do go down. I don't think they'd challenge for promotion, but I don't know. You never know what could happen this day and age. I'd like to think they would, but who knows?
Well, I think there's more. I think you hit the nail on the head with a lot of the clubs, and you look at someone like Worksop. Worksop's probably a great example where they're in a position where, you know, in a good catchment area, obviously the team's doing very, very well as it is, and they're able to bring the players. Yes, they've got some money, but I do feel like this part of the world that we live in, because there's so many clubs in a very small window, and the players are coming in, and it probably goes back to even the days when we started, you know, when you started watching Non-League, and the same for me as well. I feel like this part, you know, geographically for clubs to try and actually thrive, unless you're a big name, you know, and Shirebrook are a big name in you know, in these parts, but I feel like, you know, some of the magic's been lost. Do you think?
Yeah, it has a little bit. I think I can remember looking at the average attendance that year we had Mark Shaw, just over 10 years ago, and there'd be 200 odd there. He wanted 250 to 300. He pretty much was on his way to getting it. Because if he had stayed and not gone to Worksop, I think we'd have had another great season, possibly done it. Possibly got at the very least promotion. Didn't have playoffs back then. Average crowd about 200. Looking now, it's probably halved, and some of that's probably away support, which is sad to say. Yeah. You get your people like, you know, your Vinnies, your Lukes, your Turnips. Done it, Blade. That is anyway. They do follow local football that'll come every now and then. Yeah. I mean, I'll certainly go up as much as I can. I mean, they had a game abandoned on Saturday. I'll probably put to a Tuesday night. So get it. Yeah. So I mean, could the club do like a discount for season ticket holders of the clubs that we've mentioned? You know, entice them in when they're not playing.
Yeah.
So I thought that's the only thing I can think of personally. It's just something that, I mean, because there's two Shirebrook teams now as well. There's a Shirebrook Soldiers that play in the Central Midlands, and they're doing really well in the Central Midlands. So, you know, those guys, I know some of those guys used to follow Shirebrook Town. Obviously, they're going to be playing on a Saturday now, so they're probably not going to be available, which lowers it even further. So yeah, it's a tricky one, really.
Yeah, I do agree. I think that, you know, that's the only issue. I think, given, you know, looking at the town, certainly for like Retford, where we are, we're very blessed that we, you know, and I certainly am blessed that you got two teams that are similar in terms of sort of sizing, who are doing very, very well. But did you feel like, you know, when you moved to Sheffield for uni, did you follow a lot of the non-league stuff around there? Because there's so many good clubs around there.
Not at the time, no. I have done in recent years quite vigorously. Obviously, you got your Sheffield FC, world's first. Now, we did have a bad experience at Sheffield FC just a couple of weeks before I moved to uni in an FA Cup game, Brook Town. Not very friendly people at the time. I just thought that Sheffield FC, and I still think to this day, could be, because it just feels like any other non-league club when you go there. This is the world's first football club. Without this club, there's no Pele, no Maradona, no 1966.
Yeah.
No Istanbul. I'll go on for a long time here.
Yep.
And yet, what have they got to show for it? You've got a little ground in Dromfield, which isn't even in South Yorkshire, that at the time was run by quite nasty people. I mean, they've got a policy no swearing, which, being the immature 18-year-old boys and younger that we were, we thought, ooh, them, sort of thing. But, even if they'd come across a bit friendly, it's just, please don't swear, boys. It was like, you've been warned, don't do it again. So what are we going to do? At that immature age, what are we going to do?
Of course you're going to do it again.
And they tried to kick out one of our lads. I won't name him, Stokesy. It just wasn't very pleasant at all. The game finished 1-1. And as we got on, they actually called the police on us. I mean, the steward, he wasn't strong enough to kick us out, but they were really bad. It left a sour taste in their mouth. Because a lot of guys were going to come and watch them when you move to Sheffield. I'm like, I'm blooming, no, I'm telling you. So their example one, obviously there's Mansfield Town around the corner. There's obviously got Stocksbridge, Park Steels, Jamie Vardy's old team, playing yellow and blue as well, which is good. Penistone Church just up the road from there. And then the one club that I've saved till last, the best till last, one that's really, really come up in recent years to one of the best fan bases in non-league in this country, in my opinion now, and that's Hallam FC.
Yes.
Now, when I first went there, probably had about 50 people, and we probably contributed to some of that at Shirebrook. There's a bar across the road that's demolished now that we used to go into. Some happy memories there. I remember Shirebrook being 2-1 down in 90 minutes, and then we have two corners, and all of a sudden, Stoke seeing me ran on the pitch celebrating a 3-2 win. Like, oh my God, what happened there? And I think when the lockdowns happened in 2020, and you couldn't go watch United on Wednesday, I think the locals thought, well, let's give these guys a go. And they've stuck with it because they've realised how good it is. They're now getting up to 1,000 per game at home. And they've got a set of ultras who, by the way, are fantastic.
Yeah, they are.
Of all ages.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see a few people from a couple of old parents from Wisewood, the junior football club I used to coach with, even show up. It's in a decent area. It's in Crosspool. I'd recommend it to anybody in the area. Any students that want something to do on a Saturday afternoon, instead of United or Wednesday, go watch them. That'll turn your mind a bit. That might give you a bit of an eye opener.
Yeah.
So yeah, Hallam, fantastic over recent times.
Yeah. I mean, do you have any regrets on not, with some of the, because I know, I mean, you've done it now, certainly nowadays, but was there do you have any regrets looking back now on not being able to do it sooner, do you think?
I don't know, really. I think life happens at a sort of pace, really, because, I mean, uni for me was a big learning curve. Probably I wouldn't look back at uni and think they're the best 3 years, but I'd probably say they're the most important 3 years in my life. I think 2016-17 went to Sheffield United. That was a bit of a transition. Then when I met a good group of friends in 2017, I'd say those 3 years, 2017-2019, probably felt more like uni than uni was. They were a great time. And then in late 2019, that's when I started to go to football because, as you get older and, life moves on. Whenever we still speak to them, but obviously we're not as young and as energetic as we were back then. And going out on a Friday, Saturday night, it's not as appealing anymore. So you've got to have other things you want to do in life. At the time, during those 3 years, I started to go to Mansfield Town games and then all of a sudden started going to away games. And that's how it all started, really, for ground hopping. And that's what it felt like to non-league. Yeah.
Can you remember the first ground you did as a ground hopper then?
I'd say my first away game with Mansfield, but as an absolute neutral, outright neutral, nobody's free. I went to watch Rotherham United against Oxford United back in 2019, New York Stadium. Yeah. A couple of months later, we met a good Rotherham Miller that I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. I wasn't actually that far away from him in terms of his season ticket to where I was sat as well. Never would have known. But yeah, Oxford at the time, the form team in the league, possibly in the Football League at this stage. They won 2-1. Paul Warren was manager of Rotherham. Rotherham did get promoted that year, albeit points per game, because it was that year. So they did come on quite strong in the end. But at that time, Oxford did look quite impressive. So yeah, I mean, you could always say Sheffield United is probably my first ground, if anything, just because I did turn up there when I did. But when it turned to other grounds, I say Rotherham was the next one. My first away match with Mansfield. Now, this is a story to tell. Notts County away of all grounds. Wow. 4,000 of us descending me. I took my brother Joe with me as well. because he followed them as well. Our good mate Clark, who I call a superstar, got us the tickets. It's the first march to a ground we've done. It was a strange day because all of a sudden the weather was snowing, like blizzardy snowstorms, and all of a sudden it'd be sunny, and then it'd be snowing again, then it'd be sunny, then it'd be snowing again. So we actually got into the ground, walked into the ground like this, literally over, just past the River Trent. But it was sunny just before that. We were at the waterfront pub, which, by the way, I think it's gone now. I think it's gone bust. All enjoying a couple of drinks and let's go, mental. Then there's pyros going off, or marching to the ground. I'm thinking, let's just class this, bro. How about this? So we're getting there, and the snow's coming down, and the ball's not really exactly rolling very smoothly. But the game is going ahead. 1-0 down at half time. Thinking, and then last 20 minutes, David Flitcroft's just taken over at this point, by the way, from that traitorous Stevie Evans, who was putting us on our way to automatics that year. And we get a corner at 96 minutes, and Conrad Logan's gone up because he was in goal at the time. Headed out. Alex McDonald's headed it back in, but it's hit the guy's arm. His arm stretched out, clearly hit his arm. Referee's blown whistle and pointed to the spot. I'm like, come on, 96 minutes, this is crazy, this. And the Notts County players are all surrounding the referee like, you're giving that. Yeah. So it was 6 minutes of added time. So 99 minutes are on the clock, and we've finally got the ball on the spot. Kane Emmons is going to step up. I'm thinking, please. He steps up. He buries it. Oh, my word. I've never done limbs like it. Holding me over, screaming. He's like, yeah, man. Like, absolutely balmy. And that was our moment of the season. We did end up missing out on the playoffs on the last day. But what a day that was. I remember walking out of that ground, absolutely buzzing. I can remember getting to the train station. The train was full. I said, wait here, bro, wait for the next one. And I can remember, because it was packed with Stags fans, I bashed on the window going, come on. Till more I can all hear him in the train going, hey. That was class. So, that was first away game.
Yeah.
Second one with Chesterfield. Wasn't as eventful as County, but we did win, and they did go down, relegated out of the league that year. They are back after a lengthy spell out of it, as most clubs do tend to have. Some don't, but some do, as you know. Mal Benning, or Sir Mal from that day, even though he scored against us in the final for Port Vale the other year. But yeah, what a day that was.
Yeah.
And just from then, I wanted to see more grounds. And so I did.
And so you did as well. I mean, was that? Because that first thing that I remember came across you was your blog as well. So when did you actually want to start your blogging then?
I wanted to do something where I could potentially monetize and just be a bit relatively known, but I've always wanted to be different. Instead of doing YouTube, I thought let's do something different, and that was the first thing that came to mind, just a written blog. So I looked up, creating a website, and it's still there. I only use it now for newgrounds within the step 6 sort of read. I don't do it for grassroots at this stage. That got the word out there because I was just on one night when I went to Donny Rovers, when I first took ground hopping really seriously, I just took a selfie and just put a hashtag. Because I can remember being at school and doing geography, and one of the videos was hashtag where the hell is Matt? And it was just him dancing in different places of the world. And it just came up. I don't know how. It just did. And I just put where the hell is Topliss? I mean, mate said to me, that selfie was hilarious. I thought, right, I'll do that from now on then. And I still do it to this day. Think of something different, though, every time. But yeah, that's just how crazy it was, yeah. So, yeah, I started the blog in late 2020. And then towards the end of me, before I started YouTube, we started to see a lot more videos coming on. I thought, yeah, there's one place this is going. I think there was people murmuring. There were murmurs of people saying to me, you should do YouTube now. It's about time. And in the end, the last game I did was the playoff final between Barnsley and Wednesday. It was after that game when my brother sent me a paragraph saying, bro, you need to do a YouTube channel now. You've got the personality for it. Do it. So I put a poll out on Twitter. Should I do a YouTube channel alongside the blog? And I think it was 58 votes, 64% yes. And here we are now.
Well, I voted yes. I mean, I was going to say, because do you remember the first? I remember the conversation we've had before, but I remember the first time I met you was we were on a very sunny day.
Yeah.
At Dodworth. It was just after. So I think it was Sheffield were having their county cup or their league cup. I think it was then, and it was a Friday. I remember being a Friday night.
Yeah. Gorber.
It was against North Gorber, yeah. And I always remember. You were talking to the photographer, and I remember you were in my clip, so I remember saying, "Oh, is some fans are talking to the photographer." And next thing you know, you came over and was just started talking.
Yeah,
and it was like all of a sudden, like we did one game, we finished it, we had a lot of fun, and pretty much it was like, where next? Where we going next?
I remember. Do you remember where it was next? I'll give you a clue. Goal.
Oh, that was so good.
For a pre-season game, that had a lot riding on it for some reason. It felt like it did, but it was like it was 2-2, weren't it? That was at half time. And goal, those boys were as relentless as ever. I'm like, come on, goal, score! Even though there's nothing, doesn't matter if they don't. It's only pre-season.
Yeah,
lovely.
It was great. I remember that well because I remember you catching the train home that day, and I drove home. But they played. It were Brook Town. They played.
Well, Belper, yeah.
Yeah, because it was during. I think it was during the Euros, and we were speaking to centre half.
Reece Bertram.
Yes, there we go. It was his last season with Bell before he left, and
he was promoted that year, didn't he?
They did because I went to the playoff final. They played Chase Town, and Danny South was playing for them then.
Wow.
He did the clearance off the line because Chase Town had the shot, and I remember having to look and see if it was crossing the line or not, and probably millimeters. And Reece actually scored the winner that day.
He did, yeah. I remember did he score the winner against Stamford in the semis?
He did, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's. I mean, to be fair, mate. I mean, there's been so much. I mean, we've done so many games, but if you had to pick one that we've done together that really sticks in your mind, which one would it be?
I think you know which ones I'm going to mention, don't you? There's two that come to mind. One of them is Brighouse Town.
Really? That's
90th minute winner.
Yeah.
That was the craziest 10 minutes of football I've ever seen. Bridlington Town. That's 6 games in Bridlington Town. I've lost every single one. The Brighouse boys giving it their all. Bridlington's chairman stood next to us. Bit of banter, good banter, by the way. There's no whatever. It was fantastic. The boys and him were fantastic. It was just literally end to end, literally like this. That whole 10 minutes ought to have been in your vlog that night. It was that good. Yeah. And then 90 minutes hits the clock, and the Brighouse got the ball in the box and he scored, and we've all got absolutely nuts. Bridlington's chairman can't believe it, but still he shakes hands with the boys after the game, which was class. I remember being buzzing. The other game, this won't surprise you at all, was Howes Owen Town's playoff winners.
Yes.
Of course. That was just because I went to Howes Owen the year before against Chase Town. Big game. A lot of riding on it, and they lost. I always remember thinking, oh, God, that would have been a crazy celebration if they'd have scored in this shed end that's absolutely rocking. And then we get there, and absolutely rubbish Howes Owen, I thought, to start with. Spalding deserved 1-0 lead. Howes Owen, not much in the second half. I can remember one of their passionate fans came over that end with us.
Yes.
Wasn't Tim, and he was just literally yells, you whatever, effing and jeffing. Then all of a sudden, they've got the ball in the box, keeper spilled it, and Jamie Insall's there, tap it home. And I can remember looking at him, he just stood there like that, not even celebrating. He's getting rocked about like that. He's just face is stern, not even bothered. And then all of a sudden, the game's it was a very tight game, but just one chance. And Jamie Insall's there to pick up the pieces, roll it in, and oh my word, the limbs in that shed end.
Crazy that day.
How we didn't fall off into the crowd. It was just, oh man.
I didn't break my camera, mate. I don't know.
Literally, like going all over here. I don't know where to go. I saw that again the other week when I saw him against Stourbridge. I thought they were rubbish, Howes Owen, and then all of a sudden they're goal down after a minute, and then just on a whim in second half, a shot at goal, it's in, and everybody's gone cuckoo's land, gone into cuckoo land again, and then they score again, and then they seal it on 90 minutes. What? Where did that come from? They're a daft side. fans are even dafter, but they're fantastic. They're best in non-league.
They're certainly
Best fans in non-league. Hell's Owen would sell out most, not all, but most away ends in the Football League, I think. They've got that sort of level where they'd be able to do that. How many would they take to Wembley if they got to an FA Trophy or FA Vars or whatever final? That'd be something I'd like to see.
Yeah.
Somewhere I'd like to be as well.
Oh, 100%, mate. 100%. Do you feel like more merging from blogging into YouTube, and do your patterns sort of change a little bit? Because mine sort of, when I actually going to watch a game compared to actually filming it now, do you get the sense of like appreciation of non-league football, and also the comments that you get from people saying, thanks for the videos, and that appreciation for the clubs now?
Absolutely, yeah. A few people knew I was from the blogs, but a lot more people know now through the vlogs. I mean, obviously, I've transitioned towards Sunday League this season. I'll touch on that later. But yeah, I mean, especially around these parts. I mean, I was with one of my old schoolmates at Shab against Lincoln the other night. And I remember this old man came up to me and speak to me. He said, I love the vlogs, mate. Just having a talk about Shirebrook. And he said, nice speak to you, mate. Speak to you. I went to him and I said to him, mate, I've never seen that guy in my life. And he just started laughing his head off. But that's what's happening. A couple of players as well. I mean, later on that night, Jack Steggles, the goalie, comes up, saw me behind goal, shook hands with him as well. All right, mate. That wouldn't happen with just the blogs. People like, I mean, Austin at Lincoln knew me through the blogs, but obviously through the vlog now, it's a lot different, really. There's been a few people from the blog. I mean, that old man, Stefan from Portsmouth. Yeah. FA Cup, who I go see, he contacted me via the blog website when it was just blogs. So, I'm trying to think through the vlogs. Yeah, most Northern Counties clubs probably know who I am now. Not all of them, but most of them. I remember at Winterton the other night, a couple of weeks ago, the guy on the guy at the turnstile, "Oh, you Tuber, you are?" The young lad. Like, yeah, mate. He pointed me over to a guy called Martin, who is a groundhopper as well, by the way, but he's actually been associated with the club since the late 80s. So, come and said hello and says, half time, do you want to come with me? We'll have a tea and coffee in the executive box. All right, mate, thank you. Did an interview while he was there, and Sir Ian Botham played a game for him back in the late 80s, would you believe, or early 90s, I think it was. So Ian Botham, picture of him on the wall. He said after the game, he bought fish and chips for the whole coach.
Wow.
How's that for a story for you? Obviously, Winston having not at the best of times at the moment, and they knew it at the time, but they carry on like all non-league volunteers do, Always look on the bright side of life. Yeah, I mean, you find it at quite a few clubs. Obviously, the Hallam boys knew who I was before I actually met them all.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my Badgers wall here. See what the Northern Counties ones. Wasborough Bridge, yeah. Clippo, yeah. Where are you? I'm all in different orders, you see. Onewell Town. Yeah. Obviously, Hopkinson goes there quite a lot. He pointed me in the right direction for that one. A couple of people at Maltby Mine knew who I was when I went there not so long ago. Thorn, they're another club. I haven't been there for a vlog, but I've seen them away this time quite a few times this season. A couple of Friday nights, and they've won them both. Not bad. Obviously, Retford United know the manager really well, Mr. Ryan Hindley. If you're watching, mate. Durham District, a few of their guys as well. So most Northern Counties and some that have transitioned to the United Counties probably know who we are rather than just me.
Yeah.
So, it's a good feeling when you walk in there. It's like, when's it out, mate? Tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Have we got that goal? Yeah.
Yeah, I have that thing as well. I mean, do you ever get like, certainly with YouTube, and it's like, and the same with me is when I first started, nearly 7 years ago now, and it'll be 7 years in August actually, crikey. But like, do you ever like try and and you could, I always do sometimes with YouTube, and I'll take, if there's people I watch, I'll take little bits from them and kind of morph into my own. Do you try and do that, or do you try and stay as much as certainly as original as you can be?
Yeah, I think I'd say I probably got my own style. I think trying to analyse, because obviously having you sat here, it's like, how can we analyse each other's? I think I want to show more, because I do say at the start, football, you want to see the football. You don't want to see me. You want to see the football. So I want to try and put as much of the game in as possible. So if that means I have to have a vlog for half an hour, so be it. If the game was that good, the audience are going to want to see it, I think. I like to leave an impression that you've got an idea what the game was like. Because I know your vlogs are quite consistently 10 to 15 minute long. Mine, I've got a 10-minute one. I've got an half an hour on. My longest one's 32 minutes, but that one's 20. And you get all the sort of times in between. I think if you saw mine was 15 minutes, probably think, but not much happened in that game. Just as a thing anyway. I wanted to have a catchphrase. Now, I remember speaking to my mate Sam, who Mr. Sam Wells, if he's watching, mate. Prescott Cable, Sam, that is. Yeah, we spoke about it at a pub once, and I said to him, I want a catchphrase for this channel. And he says, what about fantastic stuff, here we go again? I thought, okay, that one don't sound too bad. But when I thought of it a bit more, I thought, I want something that rings. It's got a bit of a ring to it. I think fantastic stuff, here we go again, is a little bit much, I thought. Here we go again was good.
Yeah.
I thought just something else after that. Here we go again is just on its own, is just nothing. Because other YouTubers might just say that for just an intro, just on a whim. And I just thought, here we go again. Football. I thought that worked. That I've kept ever since. Apart from the very first one at the Stanks, it was just so here we go. Then I introduced myself, and then after that, here we go again. Football. I think that's got catchy because certain people are saying it to me now. I go to work who know about my YouTube channel. Just go, football, football. You going to a game tonight, mate? Yes, I am. Football. Yeah, it just works, doesn't it? Now, what are the catchphrase? Now, the ratings I wanted to stick with are sort of phasing out a little bit at the moment, just because I think the notoriety is going up and my want for getting interviews from people at the club starting to get a bit more demand. But I wanted to keep the ratings, and the way I wanted to do it was different. I didn't want to slow it down and do it exactly the same as what Smith does. Just that's Smith's idea. Obviously, he does 5 stars. I do out of 10. So I didn't want to shorten it down and make it black and white. I wanted to be like, right, atmosphere, then cut to any atmosphere that I've seen, and then explain my decision a bit better. And other than that, just to show anything that you can, really. I think anything that happens in the crowd, anything on the pitch, whatever you think the audience will like, I'll try and put in. That was what I was thinking to start with anyway. Obviously, the channel will take you to places that you never thought you would. I mean, I never would have envisioned me doing Sunday League. But if I were to touch on why I do Sunday League, a gentleman called Lee Jordan, the goalkeeper for a team called West Bretton. Hi, mate. Hope you're doing all right. You watching? I can remember meeting him years ago. I think in summer 22. I think he used to play for Pack Horse in Royston. I think he lives up that area. And I remember speaking to him during the game, only a pre-season game, just playing in a Barnsley park. There was me, Hopkinson, and Mr. Kiz Everard was there as well at this point. And ever since then, he'd tagged me in their games, and then he moved to West Bretton. He'd still tag me in their games every week. Now, instead of me tweeting him back saying, please stop tagging me, I had a little look at that. I had a little think about it for a while. Thinking, would Sunday League be something interesting? Because I think at the time, doing non-league, doing all these revisits just to get doing a few revisits for clubs that I've already blogged at, just to get them on the channel, just to sort of work up to a level playing field. And I just thought, should I do Sunday League? Should I give it a go one day? And I can remember he tagged me again, and I checked their fixture, and they were at home. So I thought, right, I'm going to give this a go. So I thought, I'm going to put a tweet out there saying, right, I'm going to give Sunday League a go. Any clubs that are interested, let me know. And within 5 minutes, Lee Jordan's in my inbox saying, right, come on, watch us. I'm like, I was waiting for that one. See you Sunday. So I gets there, and he introduced me to the team and to the manager, Jim, who got on really well with to this day as well. I did a little interview with Jim and Lee before the game, just to get to know about the team and about sort of Sunday League as a whole, really. And then I didn't plan to do this, but I started filming his team talks, and that's something that stuck. And the interview part before the game stuck as well. So I thought, right, we'll get interviews with people if this goes well and get the team talks at before the game at half time. And if we're doing it at full time, if it's worth it, then yeah. So I do the game, decent game, 3-2. I thought that was all right, that. So I thought it's not going to be every single Sunday. It is every single Sunday. So I thought let's put it out to one of the leagues. So that's a Barnsley team. Now they weren't playing the following Sunday, so I thought, I wonder if someone in Chesterfield would be interested. So I put it out to the Chesterfield League, and they retweeted saying, anyone interested? Doley, which is just down the road from Glatwell, which is just before the M1.
Yeah,
says, yeah, we'd love to have you. We'll give you a free BAP as well in the morning if you're hungry.
Nice.
Got tea lady on, got a tea stall in the porter cabin. Well, cheers, lads. Right, who's doing an interview then? So I got the centre off, and this is the thing: it doesn't have to be the manager I interview. It can be anybody. One of the players will do. If they've got a long-serving fan who watches them every Sunday, he'll do. A guy just comes to walk his dog at Sunday morning just at the time, he'll do. He's seen you. So I interviewed centre half, and they're playing Tibshelf, who in the cup, who are at league below them. But I didn't know this, but some of their players were cup ties, so it wasn't exactly a good game for Tibshelf. We lost 12-1, but I thought, I've done it. They were lovely. Thought still another one in the bag, and the view count was quite good because I've interviewed one of their guys. They're all going to want to see. I thought with Sunday League, they're all going to want to see this, aren't they? If they invite me, so I thought, right, you've got to invite me, and you've got to be happy. The other team's got to be happy that you've been filmed, and I've got to get an interview, and that's the rule in my Sunday League. I've not approached any Sunday League team; they've come to me. So to say I've got a backlog from that is working really well. I mean, the only Sunday League team that I would probably look at approaching are the iconic grounds of the country. So I don't know if you know, you probably know the Angel of the North in Newcastle. There's a football pitch. Apparently there's a team that plays. I don't know who, but they'd be someone I look to approach for that reason. There's a team in North Yorkshire that's got a castle behind it. I know Mike Bailey's been asking me to go there with him, which I still need to speak to him about. So yeah, there's any iconic Sunday League grounds of the country. I'll have a look. I do want to keep it local for now, and I will next season keep it local. Would like to get a few more leagues involved because I think the only leagues I've done, Barnsley League through West Breton, Chesterfield League I've done a lot at, Mansfield League I've done a few at, hoping to do one this Sunday just round the corner from me. Done one in the Imperial Sheffield League, but that was through West Breton, so didn't really count that one. What else have I done? One in the Rotherham League, Pewter Pot. A few in the Mexborough League as well. So I wouldn't mind branching it out to someone in the Donny League, in the Blade Super Draw or Imperial League, or maybe even in the Newark Sunday League. Yeah. Somewhere like that. That'd be if I can get them two leagues on board and then cover any finals that come up moving forward, they'd be even better. So yeah, I think it's gone really well, Sunday League. I mean, it can't be that bad if clubs keep asking you to come. So yeah, I'll keep that going. I think I've done 18 and with more to come. So something to do on a Sunday morning, isn't it? When you don't go out Saturday nights anymore. Or on the very rarest of occasions.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same. I've done a few Sunday League games. I did one last month with my old team, Oakley FC. But I do feel like, I don't feel, apart from Smith when he did, Palmer's FC. I know SC Dons now have gone into sort of the Saturday leagues now. I don't feel like there's as many sort of content for Sunday League in terms of YouTube videos. Do you feel like there's a real gap now for yourself that you can really expand?
Definitely. I mean, dare I say, I'm actually looking forward to my Sundays now. Sunday mornings quite a lot because you get a Saturday night. You get to Saturday night and you've done your game. And you think, oh, that's it now. I'll wait till Saturday now, and it's like I don't have to now. I've got tomorrow morning to prepare for. I think with Sunday League, I don't think there's anybody that. I think a lot of vloggers do Sunday League, but they do it a bit aimlessly, if that makes sense. They'll just turn up and just switch camera on. Whereas certain vloggers for Sunday League do it because they're attached to a club, which again is fine. Like obviously Palmer's FC being the main example of that. But I think if you go there and you want to actually get to know the team and interview them, that's a bit more personable. Yeah. I think so. Keep it doing that way. And obviously expanded into doing grassroots football, the same sort of style. Like interview somebody from there. I mean, there's a lot more people to choose from on a Saturday because there'll be volunteers involved. And they'll probably have a chairman to speak to, as well as a manager and players. With Sunday League, it's just a group of lads having a kick about. And I think, in many respects, because you hear it a lot. I mean, I spoke to a guy at Easington on Saturday who said that the whole Sunday League used to have 20 divisions. 20. They had a west side and an east side of all. They had 10 each. And I think they'd have cup competitions where they'd meet each other and all that. There's 6 divisions left. Now, 6 doesn't seem too bad, to be fair, in this day. But when you think of that, bloody hell, what's happened? Chesterfield's got 6, which is good. I hope they keep that going. There has been teams that have folded this season because they've told me, some of the teams that I've met. Mansfield's got 2, used to have more. Barnes, they did have 2. They've now got 3. 3 quite stable leagues, I think. So that's good. I mean, Sheffield is split into 2. There's Imperial and Blaze Super Draw that have both got 2 each. So we could say Sheffield's got 4. Rotherham's got 5, I think, which is very good. Mexborough's got 3, but some of their leagues are quite small. So that's a bit questionable. Donny, I think, has got 3.
Yeah, they've got 3.
Yeah. They seem to be quite stable. I would love to get to a Donny League. And if somebody on the other side of the camera can help me, that would be very appreciated.
See what I can do.
The Newark League, I need to have a look at a bit more. But if we, well, I say that we, because if you did Sunday League every Sunday, could we possibly save it in many respects? I do think it's slowly dying. And I don't mean that in the sense of competition. I mean that in the sense that players not turning up being the factor and people not wanting to do it. Because some of the oldies that I spoke to at Easington were like, back in there we had 11 players, and if they weren't dead, they played again next Saturday. And we had to sweep all the sheep rubbish off the pitch before game. It were class. No one wants to do that now. You know what I mean? You live for it. If we have people with that sort of attitude, because there's a lot of things that we've got to occupy as time now with these things and other stuff as well. You know, it's like football one week. So, well, I want to do something different next week. Oh, I'm going to see the missus, or I'm going to sit on my phone, or I'm going to play Call of Duty. You know, if you have that sort of attitude, you'll soon not have the option to play football on a Sunday morning. So if we can push the notoriety out there and even get some of these teams that we visit to, I saw them on YouTube. I'm going to sign for them. You know, that notoriety, especially for the cup finals that are going to be coming up. I can remember yesterday when I was at the Hollingwood in Chesterfield after their game, the Brampton Moor Rovers manager was there because their team weren't playing and they were top of the league and second were playing third. So he wanted to see who's got it. He said, come and watch us. And I even met the Duke of Brampton FC manager in there as well. So, if you're not free this season, come see us next season, pal, and we'll feed you and give you a drink and all that after the game. It's like, yeah, brilliant. But Brampton Moor Rovers have got a Derbyshire Cup final on Sunday at South Normanton Athletic. And they're playing a team called Edge Hill that are from Burton. So be an interesting affair, that one will. But I'm not. That's plan B, because I've already committed to Shirebrook Gate. So if Shirebrook Gate are happy, which I'll get confirmation from tomorrow, we'll be going to that one. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if we can get people watching Sunday League for a laugh, because as I've read the comments, one guy said to me once, I'm a Mansfield Town fan, but this is the content I come for, the Sunday. He's a Stags fan. Not bothered about me going to Stags, he wants the Sunday League. So there's definitely an audience out there for it as well.
There is, 100%.
I wouldn't have any real controversy at Sunday League like you'd expect. Like you go to Sunday League, you think, oi, get off my shirt. You know, you don't hear that yet. We've had some great games. I remember Tupton being 4-3 up after being 2-0 down, and all of a sudden keepers come out and the guys rolled it past him and scored a 4-4 and last kick of the game. Referee blew straight after kickoff. Had a bit of drama. I can remember doing the cup quarter final at Derby University between Mackworth and Pilsley. Mackworth are in the Long Eaton League and Pilsley are top division of the Chesterfield League. That was a good game. At a decent venue at the time because it was cold and rainy everywhere. So yeah, I mean, Sunday League wise, I think we're going all right. And like I say, I'm really looking forward to my Sunday mornings a lot more now.
That's great. I mean, yeah. I think you're right. I think you touching on Sunday League. I mean, you're saving it. I think I was speaking to one of my mates who plays for Oakley FC, Owen Rudd, and he was telling me the fact that 3 teams had folded out of the Premier Division because of players not committing, and it's sad because when we were playing, when we played football back in the day, playing Sunday League in the morning, we used to love it. I think society now with players is a lot different, and the mind, and you've hit the nail on the head with the mindset of what of people now these days with the phones and wanting to do other things, which I get it, I understand it, but if you're that interested in football, that's what it should be. But so you can't, unfortunately,
it's not just that as well. I mean, it's a social aspect of it as well.
Yeah,
these are your mates probably on this team. I know there's managers signing players and all that, but still, it's a social aspect of it because most teams they've got a designated local that they go to afterwards. West Bretton have got the West Bretton Cricket Club, which, by the way, is a fabulous area. By the way, I've never heard of some lovely houses there. But even West Bretton have said to me, "Oh, next time you come, get on our squad photo." I'm like, I'm only a vlogger, mate. But hell, thank you, but I will. So there's that aspect to it as well.
Yeah,
and, so many. I've had a few teams say, "Oh, come watch us again. Come watch us again." Now, Max at Tupton FC keeps telling me to come back and watch him again, and I will at some point. There's Ryan at AFC Alma in the Mexborough League, who's like always welcome to come back and watch us, mate. He's a great guy. You get the West Bretton boys. Lee's like, "Oh, can we have you once a month? Once a month?" I'm like, "Let me get this season out of the way first. I'll come in here." And then you got the likes of Courage FC, which have had to be very patient. They first messaged me in November, and I've still not been. That's not my fault, by the way. February, when I was in Southampton, I got a message to say the game's off tomorrow. I was due to see him after that game. Other teams forfeited the cup. And even then, I put it out to Chesterfield League, and I had eight teams message. 8.
Wow.
Thanks, guys. Courage. To be fair to Courage FC, it could have worked out really well because I'm seeing them in 2 weeks. There might be the game where they win the league. If results go again their way, it might be the day they take the title. After all that waiting, it might have been the perfect one.
There you go.
But that has to mean Tupton, who I've seen, who Max, who's a big fan of mine, will have to lose, which I can't say I want them to lose for that game, but no, I wouldn't. But that would what needs to happen for that to be the case on the day, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. We'll see. Indeed, we'll look forward to videos, mate. But I think one of the things I did want to touch up on as well is that last year you embarked on the County Challenge.
Counties Challenge, yeah.
Now, how did you come up with that idea? And for me, I mean, I remember when you first said that you were going to do this Counties Challenge, I thought that's going to be insane. But how did you actually come about this idea then?
I'd always, because I mean, as long as it's as much as it's the football side of it, it's also the travel side of it. I've got a travel bug in me, a travel bug demon in me that I haven't put to sleep yet. I put that in my experience thing on my website, bucket list things to do, and that was one of them. I didn't think of it as one season, but I just remember being, it was early September, and I thought at this point I'd already done Cornwall, I'd already done Northumberland, and I'd already done Kent. I just thought I could do this in one season, Just sat at work in my office, just in my head. I think, I could watch every game in one county in one season here. Just while I'm on phone to a client. Yeah. It just happens to me sometimes. It does. So I've listed all the counties down, and I looked at certain clubs that are in these areas, and just thought, let's give this a go. Now, it did have a couple of crazy things. I mean, working in Barnsley at the time and then driving all the way down the M1 to watch MK Irish on a Tuesday night, not something I'd recommend to people. Especially when later on that season, Mansfield's penultimate game for promotion was away at MK Dons, which is also in Buckinghamshire. Thinking that was a great sort of Tuesday night. Mind you, I saw 8 goals that night, so it weren't that bad.
No.
But yeah. Now, just for the right people say, that must have cost you a fortune in fuel. Yes, it did. I don't know how much. I didn't want to know. Nothing you'd want to know, would you? So I planned a couple of trips around it. I remember being October half term once, and Bristol Manor Farm played on a Friday night. Torquay United played on the Saturday. So I thought, get the Southwest done and dusted out of the way. I mean, there was a couple of targets. I mean, Dorset. that was one where I'll get this done quickly because that one's miles away. Dorchester Town was my top target. I got there. Fabulous ground, that is. Decent game. 1-1. Dorchester missed a penalty. And there was a bit of arguments in the stands between their own fans. Some of the young lads were a bit drunk and they were having a good one on this play. And some of the older guys were like, "You're too negative, you. But my daughter weren't here. I'd spark you out right here." Surely, all right. Cameras on you. Cameras on you. Midweek. So I thought, well, where can I go midweek? Obviously, I can get to anywhere in Yorkshire midweek, no problem. I mean, I did end up doing Friday night in Newcastle, Tyne and Wear, get that one off the books. I thought, oh, God, for that one's over. Mind you, I did have a friend's birthday on the Saturday, which I couldn't miss, so we're going nowhere Saturday. So I thought, you've got to go somewhere. Isle of Wight was the one I was most worried about because that one, you can't just drive there. You've got to get a ferry. So February came along, thought, right, I'm getting it done. And after that, I'm going at it relentlessly. And unbeknownst to me, what unfolded that day at Cow Sports to this day, one of the best games I've ever seen. I thought, oh, somebody looking down at me that day. I thought, I'm going to give you the best game in the world. 4-3. What a day that was. The worst offside call I've ever seen. And, I got there early as well, just to have a little explore of cows on the island. And it was all right, really. Quite quiet. 5 p.m. on a Saturday, and the main street's absolutely deserted. There's a bar here, and everywhere else there's nobody here. It's like, oh, no wonder you don't ferry to Southampton. And then what did I have? But Norfolk and Suffolk. Yeah, Kings Lynn was the main one because that was the closest. Oh, can't be bothered travelling all the way to Norwich. Suffolk. Yeah, Needham Market, they were all right. The Sussexes, if I call it that, I don't know if I have to. West and East Sussex. West Sussex was a later one. That was Horsham. That was all right game. I'd done East Sussex. Brighton and Hove Albion, their ground is actually in East Sussex, despite Brighton being West Sussex City. So there was that. Thankfully, I didn't do Wisbech Town because that would have drawn up a couple of... No, it's in Cambridgeshire. Yeah, but the ground is in Norfolk. Thank you. None of those. Where else was there? So I think I had Cumbria, East Riding of Yorkshire, and Hampshire left. So I went to Cumbria, touched Kendal Town. I'm thinking, right, 2 to go. Nearly there. Come on. It was a decent game. And I can remember the car's not starting. The car wouldn't start. I didn't know what was going on here. Then it finally did start. I drove back to her. I thought, right, Lee, I need to look at my car here. So I took it there and, right, it's staying in the garage. So I'm like, oh, don't die on me now, car, please. Not when I need Hampshire. East Yorkshire's all right. Hampshire's not. So East Riding of Yorkshire, I did go. Saw Emily get promoted that day. Would like to have done Bridlington Town just because I've not been to that one. That was my plan.
Cracking ground.
I wanted to finish in Yorkshire and potentially finish on my 350th ground. So it would have been a grandstand sort of finish. I thought I've got to have to do it. So I did Gull. Met some fans while I was there as well, so I did have a bit of a saving grace. I bought my new car and drove down to Hampshire. 2 games. Eastleigh at midday and Winchester City at 3. Drove home like, Dad, I did the counties, man. Yeah. And I put 2 bonus ones in there. I put Huntingdonshire in there on a whim. Huntingdon Town on a Thursday night. Again, long drive on a Thursday night. I won't recommend it if anybody. And then I did the Teesside, not a county, but I thought I could see Middlesbrough one night. 4-3, great game against Leeds. Right next to Leeds fans, got a bit of limbs, and then that was it really. I wanted to do that in a way to get my name out there. But the only way I'm going to get subscribers is if everybody knows who I am.
Yeah.
So I pushed it. It was extreme, don't get me wrong. Oxfordshire was a Tuesday night, by the way. It's a long one, but it's not when it's a last-minute winner for York City, though, is it?
Well, that's true.
Gloucestershire was a Friday night.
Yeah.
There's quite a few grounds in Gloucestershire that I could have done. Bishop's Cleeve, I should have done on a Saturday because the views were really nice. Couldn't see any of it. The darkness. Okay. Cheshire, Runcorn Linnets.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done Altrincham with York, and everyone's like, Altringham's, it says on Wiki, it's Greater Manchester. No, it's Cheshire. Altrincham.
It's Cheshire. It's Cheshire.
Put it in there, but I thought I'd be absolutely certain because there are certain people and hoppers You're like, no, it's not in Chester, it's Greater Manchester. You got to do it again. You got to do it again. As you know about. So I thought we've got to satisfy everybody here, haven't you? Berkshire, Maidenhead United. Late equaliser for York. County Durham was Darlow.
Yeah.
Not the best of grounds, I'll be honest. Great club, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Lincolnshire did a few. Stamford, you love that one.
Love that ground.
Boston Town.
Nice ground.
Jack Steggles make an absolute howl of that game, which, to be fair, I actually thought he were fouled, but not even he did, so fair enough. Bedfordshire, Bedford Town. How things have changed at their club.
Yeah.
Grass pitch when I went. Herefordshire, Hereford FC. Shropshire. Now this one's a very special one. This is a proper hidden gem, and that's Whitchurch Alport. What a ground that is! Wow,
good shout.
Unreal ground that is. And actually, I got a gift from the manager. He sent me some merchandise. Sent me a scarf, a badge, some stickers, and a note saying thank you for coming. If you ever do come again, please don't make yourself a stranger. Come and say hello. So, Whitchurch Alport, the sequel might have to come soon, eh? Devon was Torquay. I've mentioned that one already. Merseyside, I did do Bootle. I did end up getting a ticket with the Sheffield United fans to Anfield and to Goodison Park. Which I didn't know that at the time, so fair dues. Rutland was Oakham United, probably the most known Rutland ground out of all of them. Buckinghamshire, you know that one. MK Irish and MK Dons. My best away to Mansfield. MK Dons. Warwickshire, Rugby Town.
Great ground.
Great ground. Probably not the best season for Rugby Town. That's another hidden gem of a ground, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Looking here, Staffordshire. Now this, not about the ground, but about the game. You Toxeter Town are playing Lichfield City.
Yeah.
Not the best of grounds, I'll be honest, but it's 0-0 at half time. Guess what it finished?
5-5.
3-3. Just all of a sudden, Lichfield 2, and I thought game over, really. Lichfield are going to score again here. Then they get one back and they got a free kick on 86 minutes. And I'm stood at perfect angle for it. So I like to stand behind the goal to the side. And he's curled it right around the wall where the goalie can't get to it. It's curled, like it's going wide, and then curls back into the bottom corner. Oh, what a free kick that is. 2-2. And then right at the other end, I'm talking to myself in front. Well, they scored. Quick, turn it around. 3-2 to Lichfield. I've missed the goal. And then in stoppage time, you Toxeter scored again. I'm like, what on earth just happened? 3-3. I have absolutely nothing. And I said at half time, well, football is a game of two halves. I thought I could say that again. So that one was a good one. Worcestershire was Worcester Raiders. Again, that was a midweek. Worcestershire, long drive. Surrey was Farnham Town. That was in the FA Cup as well with Stefan. That was a good one. I know Smith had been there a few weeks beforehand. They did lose to Cheshire United, who I think their FA Cup run was more about this season than last season, to be honest. Cornwall-wise, I did 3 while I was down there in August, while I was on holiday for a short time. I did Mullion, Bodmin Town, which is on the Cornish Hop, so I won't need that one. And then where I stayed, Penzance FC. Great clubs, all of them.
Yeah.
I know Neil Warnock lives around the corner from Bodmin Town. I think he has been a few times, so I was secretly hoping, come on, Neil, please be here. He wasn't. Try and look with Tavistock FC one day. See if I see him. Well, Torquay United, if he's at Truro City for that game in the Hop, you never know. Kent was Snodland Town in the FA Cup. I think it was actually their first home game in the FA Cup ever. Lost to Chertsey Town, sadly. So I think we've covered. Let me get my list up.
So you've got West Midlands.
That was Villa with Sheffield United. I did end up doing Gornal Athletic.
Oh yes, you did, didn't you?
I tried to get there just before. Apparently the ground was closing. It hasn't closed. It was all for nothing. But I still did the ground. But it was 0-0. But it was a cup game, so we got a penalty shootout.
There we go. Yeah.
Essex was Southend. Big protest on that day.
Yeah, that was a great video. That was a great video. That.
Yeah. London was Stamford Bridge, would you believe? I was with the Preston fans, and then I went to Wembley later that year for the League Two playoff final. Manchester had loads, including Man United. You got Ramsbottom, Cheadle-Heath, Nomads, Earlham, Stockport Town, Stalybridge, Celtic, great game.
Yeah.
Ashton United, great ground.
Yeah.
Prestwich Hayes.
Yes.
My good mates now at Withy Town.
Yeah.
Man United, and then Gig Lane, just before it went 3G.
He
Playoffs.
did. Yeah.
Hertfordshire, where
are
FC?
they? Yeah.
And then later on, my mate Gary said, "Do you want to come watch York play Boreham Wood?" I'm like, "I've already done Hertfordshire, but yes, of course I'll come." Lancashire, Accrington Stanley. Who are they?
Who are they?
Exactly. Mansfield beat them. And then they filed with York as well. Later that year. Leicestershire, Lutterworth Town and Elston Park. What else we missed? North Yorkshire, that was North York City. Northamptonshire was New Year's Day. Corby Town.
Oh, I need to do Corby.
Very cold.
Yeah. By Buxton.
Yeah. Somerset was Yeovil. Good season to go watch them, although not the best performance on the day, but they did win. And other than that, it's just Wiltshire. I thought, go and have a little look at Stonehenge and then go to Salisbury FC in what was one of the worst games of football I've ever seen. But we got a goal at least, albeit from the penalty spot, against Salisbury. Then you got your Yorkshires. South Yorkshire, every single Football League club except for Rotherham. Probably good job I didn't go Rotherham because they see them get battered. Then you got your likes of Hallam, Handsworth, Dinnow, Penistone, Worsborough Bridge, Stocksbridge, Parkgate, Denham Main.
Yeah.
And Millmore.
Yes.
Would you believe? So, West Yorkshire, Wakey.
Yep.
Leeds. Huddersfield Town, Gomersall and Gleckheaton, and the coldest of them all, Garforth Town, who got promoted via the playoffs that same game.
They did.
North Yorkshire, York City, and then who was the other one? East Riding, we said that was Gould, weren't it? So, great. A bit draining towards the end. You know, if I'd have finished in Yorkshire, it would have been a lot easier, but it was a great way of getting around the country. Some little towns out there that you never would have thought that were really nice. To be fair, I know Snodland's only a little town no one's ever heard of. It's only tiny, but still it looked really nice. You know, Farnham, little lovely town as well. Torquay, beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Popular holiday destination for people, and there's a reason for that. Lovely little town. And then obviously most of Cornwall. They don't call it the English Riviera for nothing, do they?
That's true.
So
that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, about all the grounds that you did in that county challenge, what was the most unique ground you did?
Most unique. Hereford. There's no ground that's designed like that.
No
ground designed like that. That was very good, by the way. Terraces around, they're curved. And you can also stand at the front. You don't have to stand in the terrace. You can stand at the front. There's a bit of a gap before the goal, which is where I stood. Oxford City stood out in the National League for the wrong reasons, I think, because it's just like a typical non-league ground, that is. Bishop's Cleeve's just a cage, but if it had gone on a Saturday, it'd have been a cage with a view, no doubt. Cow Sports, fairly typical non-league ground. Kings Lynn, fabulous stand, beautiful ground. Kendal Town's really nice. Just steps behind the near goal. That one was really good, but nothing much else there for that one. Where else have we got? Bristol Manor Farms is a strange one. You've got like 3 stands all at different levels on one end. The Farmy Army. Again, probably see it on a Saturday. We got March Town United in Cambridgeshire. That's got the famous old stand. That one's lovely. Obviously, that's been knocked down soon. Farnham Town. That's got the stand that's elevated. Everywhere else is on a level.
Yeah.
Else we got? Rugby Town stood out for just being good.
Yeah, I agree.
Oakham United, your typical grassroots club. Worcester Raiders obviously stand out for a different reason because that's just the full Blam Stadium. I'll probably be that used to take Worcester City up the pyramid, I think, from next season. What else have we got? Yeah, probably so. Yeah, I think Hereford's the most unique, definitely. I mean, Whitchurch Outport's probably the best because not many people know about it. That one. Really did surprise me how good it was.
Yeah.
You could easily say Darlow stood out for the wrong reasons because it's just not that good, unfortunately. No. I mean, they are going to get a new ground anyway, so they'll move on to better things. But yeah, I got Hereford.
Good shout. I mean, they're a ground I need to do at some point. It's funny how I did 5 years at uni down in the Midlands and I never did Hereford, which I just find incredible. I mean, it's been, like I say, it's been on my list for so long. I might even get to do it before the end of the season.
Yeah,
fingers crossed. It might even be next season. But Jake, it's been a pleasure having you
thanks,
for this episode. In terms of then your future, then in terms of videos, maybe into Europe, what does the future hold then for the channel? Then will we see some European non-league away days? Do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously, I'm looking at grassroots at the moment. So grassroots clubs that play at county senior level. I mean, if a Step 6 club says, well, I know we're not grassroots, but we'd love to have you, then yes, I'll be there at some point. So grassroots for now, try and get more interviews on the channel as possible. Then we'll look at potentially European trips to the big and the small. I mean, be worth getting in touch with the football community, the groundhopper community as well, who know about certain lower league clubs abroad. I know of one in Germany called Wuppertaler, which has got an interesting look about it. I want to do the obscure ones. I mean, I'd love to go to Munich and watch 1860. Am I buying 1860? Munich would be a good one. Yeah. But yeah, European trips definitely. When the subscriber count and the view can't go up, and other things. Yeah, definitely.
Well, we'll look forward to it, mate.
Possibly women's football one day. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, mate. We'll see.
Sunday League grassroots for now, and anything else will come in handy.
Yeah. Definitely, mate. We'll have to do some collabing on Sunday League at some point. That's for certain.
Yeah.
But we'll see, mate. We'll see. But yeah, pleasure.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, very welcome, mate.
See you soon.
So yes, wasn't that a great episode? And it's great to have Jake on and just talking about his life in non-league and supporting the clubs that he's been. Mansfield, Shirebrook, a bit of Liverpool as well. And so yeah, I mean, we've got plenty of episodes in the tank and. Hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you in the next one.